Hello everyone. Today I wanted to discuss about a concept called user context. So user context is uh, the maximum number of tokens or text that any LLM can process at a time. So you can think of it as like a working memory of a LLM. And in terms of agents, user context usually means the your conversational um, history or uh, context. So think of it like it includes all the input text and also the past information or text that you include with your input, so the LLM can better uh, better understand your questions and then process and then give you the response. So for the user context, in terms of like AI agent and conversational AI agent, usually you have three main categories. The first is the system message, which is the kind of the high level description that you are giving it to the LLM. And the second is the user message, which is your specific instruction or task that you're giving to LLM to process. And third is the assistant message, which is the response from the LLM, which becomes part of the user context for the next conversation. So if I were to show you how that could look like for a user context, is that for this user given context, you have a system message, a user message, and an assistant response. And then obviously when you first use LLM, you probably won't have this one in the first request. So example, if you were to use ChatGPT on your first session, you probably won't have only these two, and then after the next question, next uh, the next chat input, you will have assistant response from the previous conversation, and which will become the context to the user context to your um, the chat input. So that's what it is. So if I were to show you an example how this could play out, is that when you're using ChatGPT, and every time you start um, you type in your user message, which is example here would be who's the Taylor Swift, and then becomes um, the response. This is a response that you get from the ChatGPT, and and if I were to explain this, is that you have um, a system message, which is the your helpful assistant, which takes about 12 tokens, and then you get and then you put in your user message in here, and it tells you that now the total token count has gone up to 21. And then if you include the response from the chat, which is the assistant, and then you include the response, now you see that your token count has gone up to 445. And and right now for ChatGPT, I think the total user context for your chat is usually about 30 to 40 thousand. And if you are going beyond that, it's probably the uh, the ChatGPT is not using your previous early questions or input, so it's best to start a new chat. Um, and then for uh, for the tokens, and you will notice how the token look like. You'll see that they're separated into different colors here. So it's not necessarily by um, a word or a sentence, um, but it's the your tokenizer, however your tokenizer is defined, how to separate the sentences into multiple tokens. And you'll see that how they are grouped into. So example here, you have the increase, greater than and less than sign, and start, and then you have system, and then this special character sign, and im underscore set, and then u and r, they're all different characters. So different tokens. So you can see how that looks like. And then your in the token gets converted into vectors, and this gets applied to the vectors space, and then the LLM will process that to find relationship between multiple words in the vector space, and then give you the predict the next token, and that's how you get the response. So how does this apply to NLN and AI agent? Is that usually you have a working memory um, uh, for your AI agent, and then you have a limited user context. So if you define your user context well, you will get better response. And and then if you are using a lot of text in your input and then also in response, and then if that gets passed to LLM, you probably would have more hallucination. Yep. So I think that's it. That's a brief overview on what the user context, what is the user context means. Thanks.